Hello there, guys, and welcome back to the 6 Yard Banter. Today, we're talking about a few things that have come up, and I would have made a video, one long one, but I've said to myself that I don't want to keep boring you guys with long videos and all that. So today, we're going to be having a double upload. This one, and then there's going to be another one later on. So keep your eyes peeled, and if you have not turned on your notification bell, make sure you do that so that you're notified when I do that. So in this one, we're going to be talking about a few things that have come up as regards Juve hiring Enzo Maresca, and Chelsea also looking at one of their hot talent in Caicedo Yildiz. So stick to the end of this video because there's a lot to talk about here. So guys, do you guys remember when I used to say in my previous when I said in my previous videos that if Chelsea cannot match Enzo Maresca's ambitions and goals, that at some point it's going to look elsewhere. It's going to start looking elsewhere. It's not been too long, and this has actually popped up. Okay, so let's just start with it. So, according to reports, Juventus are reportedly monitoring Enzo Maresca as a possible future candidate. No negotiations at the present, more of a long-term idea. If you see the way Juventus are playing right now, you can see that they've just recently hired a coach and is doing well. I mean, better than the Thiago Motta that he had initially as their manager. And Enzo Maresca is still new in the job. I think this is his second or third year as a manager. 1 year as a manager for Leicester, and this is the second year as a manager for Chelsea. Now, this is the thing here. He joined Chelsea last year, and it was his bedding face trying to put the piece together and get the team to sync and play good football and all that and all that and all that. And then he won the Club World Cup and the Conference League as in his first year as a Chelsea manager. Now, Enzo Maresca looks like someone, it might not be too vociferous, it might not be too outspoken and all that, but it looks like someone who's got ambition and goals, and doesn't look like someone who's going to sit around if he feels that he's not going to be allowed to challenge and compete like his mates or colleagues, if you understand what I mean. And he's been reportedly been asking for players that would help him mount not just a top four challenge but a title challenge. And instead of Chelsea giving him the equipment, the right tools to be able to cook and bring the best out of the squad, he keeps getting substandard players. I'm not saying the players are not good, but they are different to what Enzo Maresca keeps asking for. Now we got important players like Liverpool injured, and rather instead of the Chelsea higher ups to get a quick cover for him, Maguire from Crystal Palace or Silva from Benfica, and some other top quality defenders. We did not go for that. We decided to rely on what we have. And what we have, let's be serious, let's be honest. Okay? They are good enough to perform and challenge for a top four. But can they take us or get us the holy grail, which is the Premier League? You and I know that that's not possible. That's like climbing. That's a tall mountain to climb. Okay, and for someone like Enzo Maresca, who follows in the footsteps of Claudio Ranieri, who was also uh, uh, who was a mentor or who was a student of Pep Guardiola, is an Italian who's passionate and wants to win and all that. Do you think he's just going to keep wanting to develop players and not challenge? No. So at some point, if Chelsea keep up in this trend, continue in this trend, it's going to look elsewhere. And Juventus, they look like a team that actually want to get back to the way they used to be, the Juventus of old and all that. So if he finds a team that actually will be willing to match his ambition and match his dream, or give him the platform at the barest minimum to challenge, you think it's not going to look elsewhere. This is the same thing that I've said as regards to other key players like Enzo Fernandez, Cole Palmer, even Levi Colwell, and even some of the other important players like even Romeo Lavia and Moises Caicedo. If Chelsea just continue in this trend of saying that they just want to keep building players and then flipping them from profit, when are we going to have the right squad to mount title challenges either for the Champions League or in the Premier League or even for domestic cups, if you understand what I mean? So yeah, this is not coming to me as a surprise. I've been saying this for some time that if Chelsea do not measure up and start to get serious, important figures in the Chelsea squad and even in the coaching department will start to look elsewhere and look at Chelsea as a serious club. Let me know what you guys think about that. Do you think that Maresca would leave at some point, or do you think he's just going to keep developing players? Now, the next one we're talking about Moises Caicedo. Apparently, Moises Caicedo has parted ways with his agent, and this is coming as a result of the fact that Chelsea this news came up just shortly after Chelsea announced that they were going to, excuse me, excuse me, um, offer improve Mrs. Caicedo's contract and deals and all that. And this just came up. This came up, and why is this coming up? Nizar Kinsella and the rest of other other journalists says that his separation from his agent doesn't affect Chelsea's move to increase Moises Caicedo's deal and all that. And at the moment, his contract with Chelsea runs through to 2031, and I think Chelsea wants to increase his salary just to keep improve the contract, so just to keep other clubs from snooping around and all that. So yeah, it says that is the move to increase his contract and improve the deal and all that doesn't is not going to be affected because Moises Caicedo is focused on Chelsea and he remains humble and he just wants to succeed with Chelsea. Well, I hope that is the truth, but this still boils down to the fact that this is dependent on the long run on what trend or what path Chelsea want to keep going or walking in. Yeah, let me know what you guys think about that. Well, I don't think we have any problem with Moises Caicedo at the moment. I really don't think so. I think he just wants to succeed and walk in the path of Claudio Makelele, N'Golo Kante, and even Michael Essien. He wants to succeed at Chelsea, but Chelsea must give him the tools to succeed, to also make a name for himself. Now, Chelsea are said to have money, like I said in my previous video, to spend in the January transfer window, but they will only buy players that will take the team to the next level. And this is where I'm coming from. Chelsea in the summer bought players like Alejandro Garnacho and Jamie Brian Gittins for the left flank. And Kenan Yildiz, apparently what his market value at the moment is about between 70 to 90 million pounds. Chelsea spent close to 90 million pounds getting Gittins and Garnacho. Gittins is a world-class player, even at his young age. Why did we have to spend so much money getting Gittins and Garnacho when we still have long-standing interest in Kenan Yildiz. I would have Kenan Yildiz all day long ahead of Gittins and Garnacho. If we had, so what's going to happen now? Because reports is saying that Chelsea are reportedly interested in offering Kenan Yildiz 10 million euros worth of contract, and are in talks with the player's agent. However, some sources suggest his valuation might be too steep under current financial constraint. Yes, this is why you don't just spend money without proper planning. Why did we get Gittins and Garnacho if we were still interested, or was still going to be interested in Kenan Yildiz? If you ask me if I'm going to take Kenan Yildiz ahead of him, 100% yes. I'm going to bite off your hand or snap off your finger for Kenan Yildiz. But now we find ourselves in a position where according to the agreement that Chelsea have with UEFA and all that, we have to sell one senior player to bring in another, to be able to bring in another player and have him registered. And are we going to buy Kenan Yildiz and not have him registered for Champions League? I also think that if at all Chelsea intend to go for Kenan Yildiz, I don't think that's going to be in the January transfer window, because it's going to be cup tied. His team is involved in the Champions League right now, and is featuring in the Champions League. Chelsea is also in the Champions League. So if Chelsea ends up buying Yildiz in the January transfer window, it's not going to feature it's not going to take part in the Champions League, because it's already taking part in the in Champions League with Juventus. So I think this is just going to be a deal that Chelsea are looking to pursue in the summer. But are we sure that Chelsea will be willing to offer him 10 million euros? And this is just not mere reports, just to drive for the sake of it. And if Chelsea end up really just decide to go for Kenan Yildiz, which means we are going to be looking at losing one of our key players right now. And who are we talking about now? Chelsea have just bought Gittins and Garnacho, so I don't think those ones will be leaving right now if Chelsea intend to flip or sell them for profit in the future. While we are also expecting players like Kendrick Pires, we are looking at players like Giovanni Kenda to join the team in the summer. And there's no way in hell Chelsea will be letting go of Giovanni Kenda or Kendrick Pires. So somebody, or let alone Estevan William or Cole Palmer, those ones are not leaving. So someone has to leave. And I'm leaning towards, if Chelsea are truly going to go after Kenan Yildiz, I think Chelsea will have Pedro Neto will be leaving at some point, and I don't want him to go because he has improved massively. His defensive responsibilities as well as offensive responsibilities are up there. He's one of the workhorses that Chelsea have right now, and I don't think Chelsea will do well losing someone like Pedro Neto. So, but something has to give. Is if Kenan Yildiz is joining Chelsea in the summer, or if Chelsea are choosing or do decide to go for Kenan Yildiz, one person at the barest minimum have to leave. Besides that, how are we going to come up with the amount that Juventus will literally be asking for? We're talking about 90 million to 100 million euros. Are we going to be selling Santos or Enzo Fernandez? I dare say even Wesley Fofana and Trevor Chalobah. I think this might actually be their last season as Chelsea players. We all know that Chelsea have been desperately trying to sell Trevor Chalobah for 2 seasons straight since Claire Lake and Todd Bowley joined Chelsea. So, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think it's worth going for Kenan Yildiz, and would you think he's going to be leaving if Chelsea ends up getting Kenan Yildiz? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And now, we're talking about, according to Party, Party says that there are internal discussions that from the next window, Maresca should have more say in the signings. But currently, the board wants to retain control. I don't understand this, to be honest. I really, really do not understand it. The data and the scouting teams have apparently raised concerns about this tension. Of course, he's the one who gets to cook. Is the it's just like a cooking competition where you have different chefs come together to compete and make certain dishes and all that. He's the chef. He's the one who gets to cook. He's the one who gets to decide who plays and how he wants his team to play. You don't get to give him certain players and expect him to make the. He's only going to do so much, but it's not going to come out as tasty as he would want his meal or his dish to come. If you understand that analogy. And Enzo Maresca, he wants certain type of players. Chelsea and the board keep giving him a different type of player, different from what Enzo Maresca keeps requesting for. It is going to keep building tension, and this is why I'm saying that in the future, if this continues, Enzo Maresca might have to walk. Something definitely must give. He has been stylishly venting his frustration out in the media and also praised teams like Liverpool and the way they spent money and backed and slot even Pep Guardiola and all that. And he's talking about, he's saying that this is indirectly saying that the team or his employers are not backing him. So that said, if he doesn't get at least certain say or backings from the people that he works with in Chelsea, he's going to have to leave. He will leave. Okay, so to wrap up, apparently Enzo Fernandez withdrew from international duty due to knee inflammation. It wasn't due to feature for Argentina anyway. That's what report says. And there are other news that says that he decided to withdraw not just due to the inflammation he has around his knee, but because he also wants to spend time with his family and all that. So if the latter is what it is, all well and good, but then he should not forget the fact that he's got a duty and he has a limited time to be active in football. Yeah, but I'm not going to say that he should neglect his family. His family is always very important. That's what I'm saying. But then he withdrew due to, if the first one is also a reason as to why he withdrew from international duties, it's all good. And I hope Andres Santos is back and fit. And I also hope that Romeo Lavia is also fit. Because at the time of this recording, I'm sure that the press conference is probably on or maybe finished. That's what I'm saying. There's going to be a second upload later on in the day, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Let me know what you guys think, because we cannot afford for Enzo Fernandez to be out. He's very, very important in this setting. He covers more ground than even Moises Caicedo. Enzo Fernandez does. He covers more ground. If you understand what it means to be box crashing, he has to run down to crash into the box 18 and then also have to come back to perform his defensive duty. And most times, the team are in the midfield, especially rely on Enzo Fernandez long range passing and all that. That's how important Enzo Fernandez is. So we just have to find a way to manage him. Because it's very important. Andre Santos is still learning what Enzo Fernandez, is asked of Enzo Fernandez by Enzo Maresca. So his fitness is very, very important and key to this Chelsea right now. So the big question is that when you tie all this together, Juventus interest, Caicedo's agent saga, measure transfer strategy, youth investment, internal power dynamics, and players' fitness. It paints a picture of a club in transition. Do you understand? Will Chelsea continue in this trend? And if they do, it means that at some point Enzo Maresca will literally leave. Or will Chelsea actually back Enzo Maresca and allow him cook the way he wants to cook? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share this video, because that's the only way you can help this channel grow. If there's any other thing, I will discuss that with you in the second upload later in the day. But until then, it's Chelsea first, rivals next. Peace.